Welcome to Reynolds Reviews, where we review a wide variety of products and supplies. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on the way in so that you don't miss any of our future videos. And if you've got a personal experience with the products or supplies that we covered in this video, be sure to leave your personal experience down below in the comments. As always, links to all products and supplies will be available in the description box below. Okay, folks, so first we're going to unpackage one of these containers of vinyl tiles so we can see what it looks like in natural light. Then we'll take it out to the job site and install there. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what they look like. Just lay out a few of them here so that we can get a good idea of what they look like. There are 10 in each box, so you got 10 square feet. This is what they look like when you've got them together here. We still have our contact paper here on the back, but you can see what it looks like here if you're to peel that back. And then we also have our instructions here that come inside of each package. It shows that you can trim as needed with a razor knife, and it also gives you some brief instructions for laying everything out as you work. Let's move everything to the job site. So here's our small bathroom in all its glory. The first thing that we're gonna have to do is to remove this commode. No matter if you're gonna be doing this yourself on your own commode or you're doing this for a client or a friend, always make sure that you've got the toilet as clean as possible before you begin trying to move it and work around it, because there's no way around getting up close and personal with it. So now that we've got the toilet removed and bagged up, get it out of here and go ahead and begin cleaning. So if you want sticky back tile to adhere to the floor even remotely well, you've got to make sure that you get your floor cleaned up very well. Now in this video, you don't see me spraying it down, but I've already sprayed some treatment on the floor to help loosen up a lot of that dirt. And so I'm going back over it here and getting up a lot of the loose stuff, and I'm coming back over it again to hit it one more time. As I said, if you want to give your product the best chance of success and longevity, you've got to get the floors as clean as possible. You want to get all the dust and the dirt and anything loose that's sitting on top of the floor off so that you have a good surface to adhere to. So now I'm going to be working with the very first tile, and I'm going to be coming out of this back left-hand corner and working my way forward. Now this is going to be the most difficult of all the cuts I've got to make, mainly because we've got the water supply line for the toilet to contend with right there in the corner, as well as the side of the toilet flange coming out of the floor. So we've got to actually notch our first tile so that we can make it pass around the water supply that's coming through the floor. And then we're going to actually have to cut off the edge of one of the corners to make it pass and sit flush on the floor around that side of our flange. Now, the main reason why we removed the toilet on this installation is specifically to install this piece. Some people prefer to just leave the toilet in place. Kind of depends on how much work it's going to be to remove that toilet, as well as your level of comfort with doing that. But as you can see, putting these pieces in takes a lot of trimming and trial and error, if you will, to get all the pieces down to the exact size that you want it, and trying to make everything look as clean as possible without actually removing the toilet be even more difficult, in my opinion. Now, one thing you're going to see me do here with some of these tiles, you're going to see me cut around and install these tiles with just the edge of the adhesive exposed. Ignore that, because I was trying to do a temporary install with these just for the purposes of being able to demonstrate the before and after on this project. But what I realized was I needed to have the full contact of the glue on the back side of it to make everything adhere properly. And you'll see by the end of the video, I've already switched over and started installing them completely down. Another thing you want to do is make sure that you put some pressure down on all of your floor tiles to make sure that they adhere on all four sides, as well as the middle and all of the edges. So another thing you want to keep in mind is going to be that you can cut these tiles with a razor knife, which is what I am using, or what I will use here in just a moment, or you can use some heavy duty scissors. I'm going down this wall right here on the left hand side because I'm making as few number of cuts as I can possibly make before I get into moving back across the floor here. So I've got to cut these ones right here at the edge of this doorway. Then I'll go back and start the next row. Now, as you can see, this is not a large open bathroom, so I don't have a ton of tiles to install. And I also don't have a ton of tiles to install that don't require cuts on them, because I've got to cut the one in this back left corner. I've got to deal with that pedestal sink and the water supply lines that are coming in behind it. And I've also got to deal with the fact that this room is not wide enough for me to be able to install a fourth piece in its entirety, which means the entire far right row in this bathroom is all going to have to be cut. And I've got to negotiate around the shelf situation here in this back right corner. So when you're planning out your project, you want to be able to look at all these things. So this is going to help you determine what you're really up against. Now on this installation, I'll tell you that because we're doing this for demonstration purposes, there's one piece that I actually left out, and that's the piece that is sitting directly behind this pedestal sink. And the reason why is because the flange that goes around the base of the water supply lines is fit extremely snug to the floor, which will not allow the pieces of tiles to slide up underneath it. And I was gonna have to do some really, really fancy cuts to make that one piece work. And since we're just demoing this out, it wasn't really necessary. If you look very closely at the end of the video, you'll be able to see it though. So as I mentioned before, you wanna make sure that you're applying pressure at all times. You can see that one piece right there that I just installed, that corner was kind of puckered up. I just put a little pressure on there with my foot. As you can see, we're making very good progress here, and we're almost halfway complete with this project. Another thing that you want to also keep in mind when you're going to be doing this is being concerned with how you're going to finish your edges around the perimeter of this room. So you can see in this room, it's all tile on the walls, but if you're in a room that has drywall or sheetrock and you've got wood baseboards, then you can simply cut away your existing shoe mold or quarter round, and then you can install your floor tiles all the way up to the wall, and then you can use your shoe mold or your quarter round to be able to conceal any gaps or anything that you have as you go around the perimeter of the room. If you don't have that luxury of having shoe mold and quarter round, then you've got to make sure that you've got all of your pieces lined up accordingly, and that you're going to be able to make everything work out. As you can see here, I'm trying to get this piece underneath the base of this pedestal sink, and I'm going to have to kind of finagle it here to try to see if I can slide it under here and just get just enough gap to be able to make that work. And after fooling with it a little bit, I decided to go ahead and keep working. I wanted to keep the momentum going, so I decided I will come back to that piece later on. So I'm going to put down a few of these tiles here that I didn't have to cut that I was just mentioning before. There's only a few of them, and then now I'm already working out of this right-hand front corner here, and that's going to require me to cut around the door casing as well as this shower enclosure. As you can see here, I'm cutting here on top of the tiles that I've already installed, but I'm putting very little pressure to just be able to score the surface of this. If you're not comfortable making these type of cuts, then it would be a very good idea to just go ahead and cut elsewhere, or have something like a piece of wood there that you can cut on top of. You don't have to worry about damaging the tile that you've just installed. And so we're kind of getting closer down into this corner here, and just kind of having to make some more fine cuts here. Now this particular type of tile has a lot of flexibility to it, so you can see me push it down here and then score it. And then here we are with our finished product. There's that piece that I was mentioning down there at the base of that pedestal sink, you can see right there. But overall, this product does a very good job of giving this bathroom a very much needed updated look on the floors. As you can see, we have the pebbled finish on these floor tiles, which makes it a lot more slip resistant, which will be a much bigger factor when you've got water on the floors if you're getting out of the shower or the tub. So overall, I think this product does very well with doing a quick fix and gives you a upgraded look that will make your bathroom a lot more presentable. So as you can see, you did a relatively good job, and this project took about an hour and a half to complete. So hopefully you all found this video informative, and I'll see you all in the next one.